everyone! Welcome back to EQ University. Have you ever said yes when you wanted to scream no? Maybe you're exhausted from giving too much to others, or you're stuck in a toxic relationship where you feel like a doormat. Trust me, I've been there too. You lie awake at night replaying conversations, wondering why you can't just speak up. You cancel plans because you're emotionally drained. You feel guilty for wanting time to yourself. Sound familiar? But what if I told you there's a way to fix this without being rude, selfish, or losing people you love? Today, we're diving into the work of Nedra Glover Tawwab, the therapist who's helped millions transform their relationships through boundaries. Her book, Set Boundaries, Find Peace, isn't just a self-help guide. It's a lifeline for anyone drowning in people-pleasing. By the end of this video, you'll have practical tools to stop feeling guilty and start living freely. Let's go! Who is Nedra Glover Tawwab? Before we get into the how, let's talk about the woman behind the movement. Nedra Glover Tawwab isn't just a therapist. She's a boundary revolutionary. With over 15 years of experience as a licensed clinical social worker, she's become the go-to expert for anyone drowning in people-pleasing or emotional burnout. But here's what makes her unique. She didn't just write a book. She built a global community. Her Instagram posts on boundaries go viral daily because she cuts through the fluff. She doesn't just tell you to set boundaries. She shows you how, step by step. Her book, Set Boundaries, Find Peace, sold over 1 million copies because she speaks to the heart of what holds us back. Fear. Fear of rejection, fear of conflict, fear of being labeled difficult. But Nedra flips the script. She says, boundaries aren't about keeping people out. They're about honoring your needs so you can show up fully for others. Her core philosophy? Boundaries are the foundation of self-care. Not bubble baths or face masks, but the courage to say, this is where I end and you begin. The life-changing power of boundaries. Let's get real. Boundaries aren't walls. They're bridges to better relationships. Nedra teaches that boundaries aren't about controlling others. They're about honoring your needs. Here's how they transform your life. First, let's bust the biggest myth. Boundaries are selfish. Wrong. In fact, the opposite is true. When you're constantly overgiving, you end up resentful, exhausted, and disconnected. Boundaries protect your energy so you can give from a place of abundance, not depletion. Nedra breaks boundaries into 4 types, and you've probably neglected at least one. Emotional boundaries, protecting your feelings, e.g., I can't listen to complaints about my weight anymore. Physical boundaries, your personal space and touch preferences, e.g., I'm not comfortable with hugs. Time boundaries, guarding your schedule, e.g., I don't answer work calls on weekends. Material boundaries, your possessions and money, e.g., I won't lend my car to friends. But here's the kicker. Weak boundaries don't just hurt you, they hurt your relationships. Ever snapped at someone because you were overwhelmed? That's resentment leaking out. Or maybe you've ghosted friends because you couldn't say, I need space. Nedra calls this the cost of avoidance. And it's why so many relationships crumble. Nedra's 3-step boundary framework, ready for the good stuff? Let's break down Nedra's battle-tested method. This isn't theory. It's a roadmap used by thousands to reclaim their lives. Step 1. Identify your limits. You can't set boundaries if you don't know where you're overgiving. Nedra says, your body will tell you. Pay attention to physical signs, headaches, fatigue, insomnia, emotional signs, irritability, anxiety, numbness. Try this exercise. Grab a journal and ask, 1. When do I feel most drained? Who do I resent and why? What am I tolerating that I shouldn't? Step 2, communicate clearly. This is where most people freeze. Nedra's rule? Be firm, not mean. Use direct, unapologetic language. To a pushy coworker, I can't take on extra projects right now. Let's discuss priorities during our next meeting. To a demanding friend, I need space to recharge. Let's plan something next month. Avoid over-explaining. Nedra warns, jading, justifying, arguing, defending, explaining gives others room to negotiate. You don't owe a dissertation for saying no. Step 3. Enforce consistently. Here's the hard truth. People will test your boundaries. A guilt-tripping parent might cry, "You don't love me." A boss might forget your limits. Nedra's advice: hold the line. Boundaries without action are just suggestions. Example, if you've said, "I don't discuss politics at dinner," and Uncle Bob brings it up, calmly say, "I'm going to step outside for a bit," and follow through. Consistency trains others to respect your needs. Real-life scenarios and solutions. Let's apply this to your life. Here's how Nedra's advice works in the real world. Scenario 1. Toxic family. My mom calls 10 times a day. How do I set a limit without hurting her? Nedra's script. Mom, I love talking to you, but I can only take 1 call a day. Let's make it count at 7 p.m. Why it works. It's loving but clear. You're not rejecting her, you're creating structure. Scenario 2. Work overload. My boss expects me to answer emails at midnight. Script. I'm unavailable after 6 p.m. to focus on family time. I'll respond first thing tomorrow. Add Nedra's pro tip. If they push, repeat your boundary like a broken record. No apologies. Scenario 3. Friendship drain. My friend vents for hours, but never listens to me. Script. I care about you, but I need our conversations to feel balanced. Let's take turns sharing. If they refuse, Nedra says, you might need to distance yourself. Not everyone will respect your boundaries, and that's a sign. If you take one thing from this video, let it be this. Boundaries are love. Love for others, but most importantly, love for yourself. Nedra's work isn't about building walls. It's about creating freedom. Freedom from resentment. Freedom to say, I matter. So grab her book, set boundaries, find peace, practice these steps, and remember, you deserve peace. Not someday, today. Drop a comment below. What's one boundary you're committing to this week? Maybe it's turning off notifications after 8 p.m. or telling your partner, I need alone time on Saturdays. Let's hold each other accountable. And if this video helped you, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Together, we can end the cycle of burnout. See you next time.